Play is an important part of your life. Sometimes play can be dangerous. Accidents happen. And bumps and bruises are a part of your life. There are times when first aid is necessary. Sometime in your life, you will have to give first aid. Will you know what to do? How to help? Let's start with a simple and common injury, a cut finger. First, avoid getting cut by handling knives and other sharp tools. But when you are cut, what do you do about it? Now it's time for first aid. When you get a cut, your body goes to work right away to start healing it. Blood moves to the cut and starts to clot. At the same time, dirt and germs from outside enter the bloodstream. Germs pose a threat. Your body has special cells that move to the site of the cut and surround and trap germs. Through a microscope, you can see these cells at work. First aid helps your body do the job of healing. First, wash the cut with clean water. Then use a clean cloth, for example, a towel or handkerchief, to dry the cut and stop the bleeding. When you are sure the cut is clean and dry, put a bandage on it. Don't put on antiseptic. And don't apply the bandage too tightly. Of course, if the cut is deep or keeps on bleeding, don't waste time. Go get help. When giving first aid, it is important to keep the injured person calm. And that means you have to be calm, too. Getting excited or panicky won't help at all. First aid means giving prompt, careful attention to someone in need. This birthday cake looks harmless. What kind of accident could happen here? Even a small candle can burn a finger. How do you take care of a burn like this? With plenty of cold water. Cold water will cool a small burn, and then you can put on a bandage to protect the injury. Don't use any ointment or spray on the burn. And remember, the first rule of first aid is for you and the injured person to keep calm. A workshop can be a dangerous place, and some of the tools in it can easily cause injuries, unless they are used properly. Sometimes a careless movement can result in an injury, maybe a serious one. This man needs help. His friend moves fast. He finds out what the problem is and then goes for help. He doesn't panic, and the injured man stays calm. This is a bad burn, a serious injury. It requires professional help at a hospital burn unit or emergency room. The chemistry lab at school is another place where accidents can easily happen. This girl moves right away to give first aid. She places her burned hand under water, then goes to call for help. First aid for burns means acting fast. The gymnasium is another place with potential for injuries. If you are careful and know what you're doing, you can avoid accidents. But suppose an accident does happen. Suppose you twist an ankle while tumbling. Before you get up, check to see if you can move your foot and make sure nothing is broken. Be careful and take it easy. A twisted ankle or a sprain is a minor injury that probably won't cause any trouble. But there are injuries in the gymnasium that are more serious. This boy has broken an arm in a wrestling accident. What kind of first aid does he need? First of all, he needs to keep calm. A cold pack is put on his arm and a call is made for help. Emergency medical technicians, called EMTs or paramedics, are called in. EMT paramedics are people who have been professionally trained to give first aid in emergencies. They may work for fire departments, police departments, or hospitals. They know how to deal with serious injuries. And they have the proper medical equipment and supplies needed for various kinds of injuries. For example, this inflatable plastic bag is used to protect a broken arm or leg. It keeps the broken limb rigid, while at the same time cushioning it with air. EMT paramedics are also trained in the proper ways to move accident victims to avoid further injury to them. An injury such as a broken bone requires a trip to the hospital emergency room. There, expert help can take care of the injury. The broken bone can be set and bandaged, and a splint can be applied. Suppose you see these berries in the woods. Would you eat them? They are pokeweed, and they're poisonous. These are European bittersweet berries, and they're poisonous too. Better leave them alone. But what do you do if someone has eaten poisonous berries? This boy runs home and shows his mother the berries his brother has eaten. This is a poison emergency. It calls for prompt first aid. What needs to be done? Remember the first rule: keep calm. Call the Poison Control Center, if there is one in your community, or a hospital emergency room, and explain the kind of poisoning the victim has. The hospital can tell you what to do for it. In this case, the hospital tells the boy's mother what to give him to make him vomit. You should give the victim water, not too much, just a couple of glasses. Follow the instructions you get over the phone. Hospitals and poison control centers have the latest information on what to do for all kinds of poisonous substances. Poisoning is a case where you need expert help, but it is also a case where you can usually get help over the phone and perform first aid yourself. Remember, first aid means the right thing to help someone who has been hurt or gets ill. Emergency medical technicians and paramedics, people trained to give emergency first aid, also teach people how to give first aid to themselves and to others. How can you learn more about first aid? First aid is a part of your health curriculum at school. You can also take special courses in first aid techniques. In these courses, you can learn how to deal with a variety of emergencies, how to give first aid to people with different kinds of injuries. First aid means taking care of injured and sick people the right way. Learn all you can about first aid, because someday you may need that knowledge to help yourself or to help others.